and it is, in my opinion, the best platformer game ever made.
So, is Celeste the best platformer game? I got the game for myself to try it out. It definitely did good on Steam as it has overwhelmingly positive reviews, so let's get into it. The first thing I did when I started a new game was change the character's real name Madeline to my name. Gotta make it accurate. Then it asked me why I was nervous, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm about to climb a massive ass mountain. So I start my journey at the bottom, and in seconds I run into an old lady who laughed at me, and I left. I learned how to dash, and I started climbing. Multiple platforms and puzzles stood in front of my path. They were no match for me. Now honestly, I have to be honest, I'm not very good at platform games. Ever since I was a kid, I didn't know how to finish Paper Mario, and I was just never a massive fan of them since then. So this was new territory for me. There are strawberries scattered around the map as well, but I was notified that they were not compulsory for the game. They did actually nothing, apparently. I ran into my first friend, Theo. He says I probably have a mysterious dark backstory. Hell yeah, I do. And I continue on. I die a few times, and I make it to a grave, which is a memorial for everyone that died trying to do what I'm about to do. Shit. Okay. Very inspiring, truly. And that was the first chapter complete. I learned the basics of the game, and I am filled with dedication to climb this mountain. Since the old lady said I couldn't, I will prove her wrong. Chapter 2 begins, and I'm literally in some weird, like, nighttime area, I guess. I explore this place, and I find a telescope. And when I look down, I see a mirror. Anyways, as you would probably expect, I find my way to the mirror, and I see some purple emo version of myself, and it just runs off. Also, these glass things before are now little squishy things I can fly through. Pretty fire. I explore the same area for the next 20 minutes because I'm brain dead, and I find a B-side tape. I'm not sure what this does, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say it adds more content to the game. And then I spend way too long trying to figure out where to go, like in every platform game I play, and I come across the emo version of myself again. Just like every other character in this game, except for my close friend Theo, she tells me that climbing this mountain is absolutely stupid. And then she starts chasing me, like what the hell? So I run, and eventually there is like 4 of her chasing me the whole time. But they go exactly where I was moments ago, so they were pretty easy to beat. Anyways, I get away. What else would you expect? I pull up to a phone tower thing from the 80s, and someone, I assume an ex-partner, tells me I'm dreaming. Why is everyone against me climbing this mountain? Anyways, I move on and see Theo again, and that's the end of chapter 2, I think. Loving this game so far. Chapter 3 starts, and I enter what looks like to be a broken down hotel. A small random guy named Mr. Oshiro appears. Looks like a nice young man. I try to tell him I don't want to stay and I'm just trying to pass through, but he won't take no as an answer, so I let him take me to the presidential suite. Or suit. I don't know how to say it. I go through some obstacles with moving red flying things. Anyways, I die a couple times. What the fuck? And I end up going into a massive room that is filled with mess. And he practically tells me to clean it for him, so I get to it. So the cleaning process is just me dodging some obstacles and then the mess disappears. I also find a note which pretty much states that the hotel has been shut down for a long time now, so he's kind of just out here straight lying to me. I find Theo trying to escape through a vent, and he tells me I should leave as well, as apparently Miss Oshiro is very weird. Like I didn't know. I deny and eventually clean everything up. And now he takes me to the presidential room thing. Pretty nice. Anyways, it looks like straight garbo, and my alter emo ego states that to his face. Mr. Oshiro didn't really fancy the words that was just said, and he turns into a massive flying head and starts chasing me. I guess Theo was right about him being weird. It was pretty obvious anyways. So this dude chases me for a while, and I also die a few times. What? But I do escape him, and he ends up telling me to leave him alone. That's literally all I wanted anyways. And this is the end of chapter 3, the most enjoyable yet. Chapter 3 starts with a bang, and when I mean a bang, I mean a beautiful scenery to climb around, looking great. I can now jump on clouds, which are very bouncy and can shoot me up into the air. And I can go into these bubble things which move me into the direction of my choice. We're seeing some new stuff. Once again, I run into the very rude old lady. She says that she is surprised that I made it this far. Well, she shouldn't be, as I already said that I was going to make it to the top of this mountain. I am a winner. Wind comes into my path and pulls me back, and I didn't enjoy it at all. How do you even? So I continue to move on for quite a while, and I find these moving blocks which can go into the direction of my choice. They were a little hard to figure out, but when I got the idea of them, they were very, very helpful. So I get out of that area and I enter a new area where the winds are very fast and extremely annoying. And then there's this fucking snowball which comes across and flies across the screen and hits me multiple times. After the long episode of insanity, I find myself at an airlift. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. I don't have snow anywhere in my continent, so we don't really get these. Also, Theo pulls up to the spot, and then we ride the lift, and then the lift breaks. Me, in-game, not in real life, has a panic attack, and honestly, fair enough, because if this thing falls, we are probably dead. To calm down, Theo gets me to imagine a leaf, and I breathe in and out to keep it from falling. Apparently it works, and we move on. Got a fire selfie though. And that's chapter 4 done. Hell yeah, I'm already feeling this game. Chapter 5 is literally the worst chapter. Not in content wise, but in the way that it literally made me lose my mind. It took me so long just to complete this chapter. So we are in some glass temple palace thing. I'm not really sure. So yeah, I spent a lot of time in the same room just trying to figure out the puzzle of getting keys and unlocking what seems like nothing. I also find Theo, but he is in the mirror dimension, so that's pretty sick. Looks like I enter some massive mirror and I kill myself. And then I also find the emo version of myself again. again, pretty much saying that this is all my fault. But we roll on. I do some puzzles while getting chased by some slimy oval monster. I find Theo stuck in a crystal and my new objective is to go save him. Let's do it. Oh, and also apparently all of the monsters aren't even real and I'm just imagining them, so that's that. I eventually find my way to Theo after some long puzzling, but now I'm gonna carry him everywhere because he is still stuck in this crystal. And when I mean what happens next made me go insane, I'm not even joking. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? Eventually, after considering uninstalling the whole entire game and quitting YouTube, I got past it and got Theo out of the crystal, finally. Let's hope the game doesn't get much harder because that was crazy. And that is chapter 5 complete. No words on this one, no words. Now, chapter 6 is actually quite interesting, so you're gonna wanna see this. I spend the whole 15 minutes talking to Theo and talking to myself. Yeah, I can talk to Theo and myself in this conversation. It was actually pretty sick. I learned a lot about each character and why they're climbing this mountain. Actually informative, so I don't regret my time here. And I'm flying up into this beautiful place looking thing, going into the best area yet, but I don't. The emo version of myself literally strikes me down to like the bottom of the mountain. Talk about demotivating yourself. But there is this new ability with the feather. It lets you fly around and that's pretty much it. So I start my rise up the mountain again, taking all the feathers I see. And eventually I run into this puzzle thing. And dude, I spent way too long here. I had no idea what the hell to actually do, but I eventually figured it out by this thing called Google. I'm sorry. So from my marvelous brain, I actually finished this puzzle to get some crystal heart. I don't even know what these things do, so I don't even know if it was worth my time. And I move on to the right. I find the old lady again, but this time she's actually being kind of nice and motivating. And I find my emo self again, laying on the ground. Like she has the audacity to be upset. She literally just shot me down to the bottom of this mountain. What a fake. And oh my god, I started this stupid boss fight with her and I almost went insane. And I went for way too long. Anyways, I end up winning and I team up with my little bro emo. I can now double jump. And then I meet it with the rest of the gang, including old granny, and that is the end of chapter 6. So chapter 7 is theoretically the last chapter, but I'll get to that in a minute. So this whole chapter is about the connection between the emo version of Madeline and herself. Well, that's what I got from it anyway. So every level is a small recreation of every chapter you go through, which is actually really cool. And at the end of every level, the emo version of yourself will appear and throw you up to the next one. So this was the recreation of chapter 1, pretty nice. And then I got thrown up to chapter 2, one of my favorites to be honest. We visit the hotel again in chapter 3. I wasn't really a big fan of this one, but it was pretty good. We got thrown up to the windy level. It's been a while since I've been here. Wind is still as annoying as ever. We get back up to the glass palace. I'm still not a fan of this place to be honest, but you know, I still like it. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the summit that I'm climbing now with the wind is somewhere we haven't been before. So I climb up and up and there were these flags that like count down numbers until you reach the summit. Pretty cool. It was making me excited. And then yeah, believe it or not, I reached the top of Mount Celeste. And to be honest, it felt pretty good. Spent a good amount of hours climbing this, so I felt very achieved. The game ends, kind of, and I go back to the granny's house at the start of the game. All my friends show up, including Mr. Oshiro, and the game ends. But that's not everything. We also have a strawberry pie, but that's still not everything. There's another chapter at the end of the game. It's chapter 8 and it takes place around a year later than the normal game. But guess what? You need 4 crystal hearts to unlock it and I have 1. So I got no idea what happens after this and you have to figure it out yourself. Now around 7 minutes later, is Celeste the best platformer? No, but I did absolutely love this game. I would say the best platformer is Geometry Dash. Does that even count as a platformer? I'm not sure. But yes, Celeste was a beautiful game with amazing style, great storytelling and lore, and it was just a great game. I know I got mad during the game, but I would love some more of a challenge. I think there is also a DLC as well, so you can get that if you want. And there are different types of tapes for more gameplay. It's an in-depth game and probably better than most AAA games I've played. But yes, thank you for whoever made this game. I'm not really sure who did it. It was amazing. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys for the next videos. Adios.